bathroom.
It was funny. At least it wasn't a Uranus joke, which you hate. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, O'Neal Cruz moves to center field. Anthony Edwards angers some NBA stars, and Aaron Judge doesn't hit a home run, but he robs one. But we begin today with the intriguing speculation that the Washington Nationals might try to get Juan Soto back. Soto came up with the Nats, was instrumental in them winning the World Series in 2019. 2022, he was traded to San Diego. Now he's on the Yankees. Last night was Soto's first time back in Nats Park, and he received a standing ovation. Juan Soto is about to be a free agent. He will likely sign the richest contract in the history of baseball. Could you see him signing it with the Nats?
Tony, not really. I mean, not if the Yankees want him. And with the way he's playing, the season he's having, the Yankees had better want him. And we'll find out more about that as we get to September and through October. But Tone, I get it. I understand everybody in metropolitan Washington must have loved the reaction of Washington, D.C. last night.
Yeah.
And they must love the quotes they hear coming from Soto, because he won something called the World Series, which, by the way, Bryce Harper did not win with Washington.
Did not.
And it's a great thing. Right. It's really cool that he would have those fond feelings. And we've seen that before from players who've gone away, whether they left on their own or were traded. But, Tony, here's the thing. The Nationals aren't the Yankees when it comes to spending money. They have the money. I mean, their ownership group has enough money to do this. They let everybody walk once from a World Series team that I just talked about, even though those players, many of them, most of them had not yet entered their primes, including Juan Soto. So no, if the Yankees want Soto or the Dodgers want Soto, he's going to wind up going to one of those two, probably staying with the Yankees and not coming back. Sorry to burst your bubble.
Yeah, so this is the subject of our friend Barry Zerluga's column today in the Washington Post. The possibility that Soto could come back. And Soto was greeted last night with a standing ovation. There were chants which would come home Soto. Look, as a Nats fan, I would love to see this happen. I'm not sure, as you're not sure, that it's practical. But the sort of starry notion that he would come back and then he would play with C.J. Abrams and James Wood, who were in the trade for him, they'd all play together, that's very appealing. But you're right about, you say the national ownership has a lot of money. They haven't spent it lately. Their payroll this year is 24th. And this is going to be $500 to $600 million. And that is more associated with the Yankees and more associated with the Mets than with the Nationals. Then there's the matter of the agent, Scott Boras, who may or may not be the devil. I don't know that Scott Boras is going to want to re-sign Soto with the Nats when he turned down their initial offer a few years ago of about $350 million, and that led to the trade with the Padres. And then the ownership is sort of in question. The Lerner family had the team on the market a year or so ago. They didn't get $2.4 million, so they pulled it back at this point, but they haven't spent anything since. So maybe a white knight rides in, right? And he spends $2.4 billion, and then you're asking him to spend another $600 million, and pretty soon you're talking about real money. So as much as I would like it, I'm not certain it would happen. No, I'm not.
I thought you were going to be a little bit more bullish on this. I know how much you love Soto. I thought you were going to be like waving the flag on this one.
Well, if I had a flag, I'd wave it, but that doesn't mean it's actually going to happen. I'm trying to be practical here, you know.
No, it would be fun to see him locally again, Tone, but I don't think it's going to happen either. O'Neal Cruz was a short timer at shortstop. The Pirates say they're moving their young star to center field, a position he's never played in his minor or major league career. Cruz is known for his nearly 100-mile-per-hour throws, but he's also made 24 errors at shortstop this season, second most in the league behind Elly De La Cruz's 26. Tone, does moving Cruz to center seem sensible or risky?
Okay, so it's both, like in the beer commercial. It is both. It's sensible because they have to get him off shortstop. You can't make 24 errors, you know, in a season, every single season. 12 of them are throwing errors, by the way. And yes, second only to Elly De La Cruz. It's sensible in the sense that they love his arm, and center field is a good spot for somebody with a great arm to throw somebody out. But it's risky because, as you say, he's never played center field. He's an infielder. You're asking him to switch positions at 25 years old. Now, Mookie Betts did this. Mookie Betts went from second to right field second to right field with Boston, and then right field to shortstop with the Dodgers. But Mookie Betts is a far better player at this point in his career than O'Neal Cruz. The Pirates, they seem committed to this. So maybe it works. There's another historical precedent in the exact same position, shortstop to center. Robin Yount with Milwaukee did that, and he won MVPs at both positions. At both positions. But this kid has never played center. Center's harder than left. It may be harder than right. He's 6'7", but Aaron Judge plays center, and he's 6'7" also.
Look, the best athletes on any baseball team, the best athletes in your neighborhood, when everybody played every sport as opposed to one sport, because adults have killed children's sports, youth sports, the best athletes played center field, shortstop, and they pitched.
Yeah,
in my neighborhood,
that's right.
Kid named Jimmy Payne went routinely from shortstop to center field, and he pitched. Those are the best. Come on. Cal Ripken, they moved him around. They played more than one defensive position. You mentioned Robin Yount, didn't Paul Molitor play more than one defensive position? The great athletes did that, Tony. And so this is not risky at all. And he's not particularly great at shortstop defensively. He's not Ozzie Smith. So let's see what he can do in center field. There's no risk.
I would just say this, 6'7" with a cannon. Why don't you try him at pitching?
Yeah.
If you're going to move him, why don't you try him? Let's move on. And we move now, Wilbon, to your favorite young basketball star, Anthony Edwards. In a recent interview with the Wall Street Journal, Edwards said, and I'm quoting here, "I didn't watch basketball back in the day, so I can't speak on it. They say it was tougher back then, but I don't think anybody had skill back then. Michael Jordan was the only one who really had skill, you know what I mean? So that's why when they saw Kobe, they were like, oh my God. But now everybody has skill, unquote." Wilbon, you hate when people ignore history, but you love the Ant-Man. What do you make of these comments?
Well, the comments are somewhere between naive and stupid. And if I was in a locker room and I saw the Ant-Man, because he is chatty and he's approachable and he's not a guy, this comment makes it sound like he knows everything. But if you said, Ant-Man, sit here and look at this video for a second of a guy named Irvin Johnson, and then watch a guy named Bird, and watch a guy named Isaiah Thomas, and watch Reggie Miller, and watch John Stockton and Karl Malone and David Robinson. Watch these people. Ant-Man would go, okay, never mind, I shouldn't have gone there. Because that's just sort of who he seems to be. Kevin Garnett, who is much more important than either one of us talking about this, said, wait a minute. And he started to describe the varied skills that all these people had, including skills they don't even have today, like post play, mid post or low post. And Kevin Garnett was like, stop, please stop now. And he pointed all these things out. So Ant-Man will have to get over it. And I expect sort of a take it back, walk it back situation any moment now.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be brief on this. He sounds like a fool. He does. Nobody had skill but Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, Pete Maravich, Isaiah Thomas. You're right. He's got to look at these people because he is destroying NBA legends. All right, this is a guy, he's a talented player. He was on the Olympic team, though he didn't play as many minutes as 7 or 8 other people during the Olympics, but he is a talented player. He should have stopped, Mike, with this quote. I didn't watch it. I can't speak on it. That's where he should have stopped. Now go watch, because you are taking generations of NBA stars and putting them in a trash heap. So stop it.
But let me go further, and let me be old man, get off my lawn now. And I know you will join me in this. Nobody watches anymore, okay? The people at networks don't watch because they're quick to say, well, it happened before I was born. All they have is video in their damn hands 24/7, and apparently they can't fix their eyes on it to watch what people did. They watch clips. They don't watch games. They don't know jack. It's not just the players. It's the culture we live in now. That's why we are old and say, get off my lawn. That's what we're stuck with, and Ant-Man reflects it. Oh, he does.
This is that recency bias that you and I despise. This is the lack of interest in looking at history. Most of us got jobs by studying what happened in our industry before we got there. But apparently in sports, if you're a great athlete, you don't feel you have to do that. But it would behoove the Ant-Man to do it. Let's take a break.
Please.
Coming up, Aaron Judge is getting a lot of praise for his catch last night, but did he do something even more significant at the plate?
And Paul Skeens has seemed like a lock for NL Rookie of the Year, but Jackson Merrill seems like he's making a strong case.
Hey, Anthony. It's time for toss-up. Two men enter, one man leaves, finishes the show, and starts to wonder whether it's time for another 3-week vacation. What's first?
Toss-up. Bigger deal for Aaron Judge last night. His catch at the wall or notching career hit number 1,000?
It's the catch. It was a great catch. Alex Verdugo made another great catch on the wall. The starting pitcher for the Yankees last night, Nestor Cortez, right? Like he was getting banged around early, and the Yankees were making great catches. There's a great stat about Aaron Judge, Mike. Since 2018, he leads all of baseball in home runs with 252, and he leads all of baseball with home run takeaway catches with 9. I think it probably helps him that he's 6'7", and he can get over most of the walls. I don't mean to demean 1,000 hits, but 54 other guys in the majors have 1,000 hits now. 3 guys on the Yankees, Stanton and Rizzo and LeMahieu, 3 guys on the Yankees have 1,000 hits. He's 32 years old. He's not going to get to 3,000. He may not get to 2,000. It's the catch.
1,000 hits may lead people, in Bristol to say breaking news with an enormous World War II size font, but it doesn't mean a damn thing. He's not getting to 3,000. That's the only thing it would mean. So it doesn't mean anything. All right. So stop with the numbers. It's nothing. Taking away the home run actually means something because the Yankees are involved here in trying to win games. They don't have some enormous lead, and it doesn't matter if you steal the home run. By the way, so I ran into Aaron Judge at the NBA playoffs, and he's big. He's big, and if you're watching him every night,
6'7",
you're thinking, okay, well, Aaron Judge has got to be 6'4", or he's going to look like a small, like a 2 guard in the NBA. And you're walking into the NBA Finals, and Aaron Judge is like eyeball to eyeball with everybody except the unicorn on the Celtics.
He's big.
I mean, he's as tall as Jason Tatum, it seemed, and he's much bigger and thicker, and oh my goodness, he's huge.
Yeah. It's good to get basketball in the show. We haven't had that in, 14 minutes. What's next?
Toss-up. Who is the NL Rookie of the Year? Paul Skeens of the Pirates or Jackson Merrill of the Padres?
I would vote for Skeens. Okay, he's the most electric pitcher in all of baseball, rookie or otherwise. In 11 of his last 12 starts, he has allowed 2 earned runs or fewer. He's 8-2. His ERA is 2.16. It's the best in baseball. His other numbers: 130 strikeouts in 104 innings. Okay. He was a starter in the All-Star game. Now, Jackson Merrill has been terrific. He's batting like 290. He's got 19 homers, got 75 RBI. He's part of the impetus that has pushed San Diego up the standings in recent days. He's been really good. And he's got 5 game-tying or game go-ahead home runs in the 9th inning or later. It's the most ever for a 21-year-old. So he's terrific, Mike. But Skeens is more terrific.
Well, no, he isn't. Skeens has a greater impact on the sport. He does. There's no question about that. Because starting pitching, which was on the endangered species list, Skeens is helping to return that. So you're not going to get me to say that Skeens is not having an impact on Major League Baseball. God knows he is. But Tony, Jackson Merrill is pushing his team up the standings, and I know they got a star-studded lineup, including Manny Machado and many other people.
Yeah, they got a better team.
But they can catch the Dodgers. But he is, Tony, he's the impetus. And we talk about positionless baseball, not basketball. He's a kid who plays short and center field and is now in center field at 21 years old.
That's right.
And by the way, added bonus points in that he lives about, 20, 25 minutes away, if we're not dealing with Beltway traffic, from you and me in the greater DMV. So he gets points for Severna Park, Maryland, and just being from there. So good for him. I think that he could get my Rookie of the Year vote because it's not based on how you change the industry, even though I give Skeens that. I would.
No, Skeens is the electricity this season. Skeens is the most talked about guy, and Skeens has been great.
He could be at the crib. He could be at home in October. Then let's see how much
still to come.
He's bringing.
The Chiefs won't have any Kadarius Toney controversy this year.
And the Kelsey brothers reportedly land a huge podcast deal. This is what we call for TK Stack, TK Money.
And they should thank Taylor Swift. Because if that doesn't happen, this podcast deal doesn't happen for $100 million.
I know.
That is Taylor Swift. That is her. Happy time, people. Happy 30th birthday, Breanna Stewart. The reigning MVP is the best player on the best team in the WNBA right now, the New York Liberty. They're 26-5, and Stewart is averaging 19.7 points and 9 rebounds this season. She's often compared with A'ja Wilson of Las Vegas. Those two were starters on the gold medal Olympic team in Paris. Stewie was the #1 overall draft pick in 2016 by Seattle after winning 4 straight NCAA championships at UConn. Stewart won 2 championships in Seattle before leaving last year for New York to team with Sabrina Ionescu, Jonquel Jones, and Courtney Vandersloot.
Make no mistake, Stewie's one of the all-time greats. But if we're talking about MVP this year, there will be no repeat MVP because A'ja Wilson's the damn MVP, all right? And she better be unanimously selected as the WNBA MVP this year. There's no discussion about that whatsoever, as great as Stewie is and will continue to be.
Happy anniversary, Lionel Messi. Around this day last year, the Argentine icon made his MLS regular season debut for Inter Miami and scored a late goal in Miami's 2-0 win over the New York Red Bulls. Messi is reportedly close to returning from an ankle injury and is expected to play for Inter Miami before the end of the MLS season. Messi is the biggest draw in soccer, maybe in all sports. His last few years have gilded his reputation as he was on a World Cup winner in 2022 and Copa America winners in 2021 and 2024. Wilbon, I know you hate marketing people, but whoever put Messi in this pink jersey in Miami deserves a big, fat raise.
Yep, Tone, I gotta take a bow, tip my cap, as they say, to the people who figured that out going in. It could have backfired. Like if Messi just didn't play in most of the games and did load management, which is sort of going on now, but Messi should take a break. I mean, too old to be out there continually right through the end of the next MLS season. So big kudos, not just to Messi, but to the people who figured it out and got it right.
Yeah, our friend Taylor Twellman has a job following Messi around. That's how big Messi is.
Pretty good job.
Trails,
pretty good gig.
Javi Baez. The Tigers shortstop will undergo season-ending surgery on his right hip. It's been a short season for Baez, just 80 games, but also a long one. He's hit just 184 with 6 homers and 37 RBI. Baez's OPS has been below 600 his last 2 seasons with the Tigers. He's got 3 more years and $73 million left on that deal. By the way, might I suggest to you that A.J. Hinch might be a great manager? Detroit has no squad, and yet they're a 500 team right now.
Tony, I'm going back to Baez. Lock in on him for a second. Baez, Chris Bryant, Addie Russell, Wilson Contreras, Albert Elmore. These are the guts of a championship team, a historic team, and they're gone. They disappeared essentially. Maybe not Contreras, who's on the Cardinals, but oh my goodness, they did something that was so difficult by winning that 2016 championship for the Cubbies. So difficult, it's like it took everything out of them and they are vapor. I mean, come on now. Baez was the most exciting player in baseball for about 3 years. He's just gone.
Not anymore. He's done. Let's go to the big finish.
Yeah.
The Packers traded for Titans backup quarterback Malik Willis. Is that a smart move?
Yeah, Tony, you need another capable quarterback because every team's got to play 2. Nobody goes straight through anymore, or hardly. The Chiefs released Kadarius Toney. You surprised at that?
Should I be? It's not like losing Tyreek Hill. I mean, he's not on that level. That they won without one, a Super Bowl he didn't play. The Patriots have waived Bailey Zappi. Makes sense to you?
That is what we call irrelevant. Brissett, Dre Make, they're the players there. Kelsey Brothers reportedly agreed to a 3-year podcast deal with Amazon worth, get this, Mr. Podcast, more than $100 million. Your thoughts?
I have a podcast. I don't make anywhere near that. I would take that if someone wanted to give it to me. I would. Last one, UConn reportedly considering joining the Big 12. Is that okay with you?
Speaking of irrelevant, college conferences are irrelevant. They just are. It doesn't matter, Tone. Play wherever you want.
We're out of time. We'll try and do better the next time. Zach and Caroline, shout out and congratulations.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads. You can get the PTI podcast on the Apple Podcast. And now, here's Sports Center. Let's watch some tennis.
I think Eric went to that wedding.